Habayit Yehudi, a short and concise review of the daily laws. We know this is actually very important in Iran. I don't know why they weren't careful about this, but it's very important. Jason, can you get me a Sisit from the over there? Is for Sephardic especially, because we're teaching Sephardic halacha. In order to do the mitzvah on a Torah way, is a mitzvah to have wool sisit. You understand? Now, something parenthetically. So this, if you look over here, is a wool sisit, and the a lot of people, I don't know why, when they go to Israel or wherever to buy sisit, they buy the cheap silk ones, right? But going back to what we were just learning before, Jason, Misad Yesharim, the mitzvot are a whole reason for creation. So, in the end of the day, when you boast a whole lifetime of doing a mitzvah, do you want a substandard or you want to do it in the most perfect way? So he says, wool that comes from goats or sheep, and the strings also should be from what? From wool. You understand? Because what's the advantage of having a wool sisit? You're doing the mitzvah from Torah law. According to Sephardic, if you use other cotton and stuff, you're only doing the mitzvah on a rabbinical level. So it's perfect. It's good we're on video, so we could show. It says, Kodem shevarech v'yitatef b'talit gadol yichaven lekaven mitzvahs asher tzon. Oh wow, this is a very important thing. You know how we were just saying a second ago, you should do mitzvahs with passion and a soul. So you should have to be thoughtful. Just don't. Usually when you rush, see, that's another important. Like we were saying, zerizut is to do a mitzvah with an urgency, but not when you're actually doing the mitzvah. Well, you have to contemplate. Once you come up to the plate, now you don't have to rush through the mitzvah. That's not zerizut anymore. So he says, before you actually say the blessing, you should meditate for a minute, for a few seconds, and say, why am I putting this on? You know why? You know what the goal of the mitzvah of Sisit is? Hashem wants us to wear a kosher mitzvah so we could remember all the mitzvahs to carry them out. This is kind of like our uniform, just like a fireman always wears his fire suit, or a policeman, so he does it, right? If a policeman stays the whole day eating his coffee and donuts and doesn't save people's lives or stop crime, has he done his mission? The Sisit is that reminder that, hey, I have to be on duty. I'm on duty. I have a mission in this world to remember. He says, "En sarich min adin livdok hasisit b'chol pam shel talit." Let's say every time you say bracha right before, do you have to check all the strings to make sure none of them are ripped? He says no, because we would assume that it didn't get ripped. It would be on its chazaka, on its kosher status. But he says if you have time and you came early to shul, it's a nice thing. The Arizal, according to Kabbalah, it's nice to look at it to just make sure that like this is tightly, nicely, it's not unraveled and it become loose. Sometimes it hits like a nail, or like it gets stuck between like a rock and a hard place and it rips. So some people hold you always need to make sure that. But Rav Ovadia doesn't hold that way, but if you're able to check it every time, that's a wonderful extra credit thing to do. But usually, by the way, there's three things that every Jew should own himself: his own talit, his own lulav and etrog, Because it says Va'aya lecha, it should be yours. And your own tefillin, totafot. And then also, like it's actually, it's good to own your own thing. You know that? A lot of people didn't know that. Don't know this. It's actually not better halachically not to be a renter. Because when you own your house, the mezuzah is from Torah law. When you rent, you only have to put mezuzah from rabbinical law. It says, Uchtavtam al mezuzot betecha, your house. When you're a renter, it's not your house. You understand?
Wow.
Very important thing, actually learned from this week's parsha. It's actually one of my all-time favorite ideas. Just like Hashem created a beautiful world with unlimited colors of blue, when you go to the Gulf Coast of the United States, you see turquoise. And so when we do a mitzvah also, we should do it in the mitzvah in the most beautiful way. So if you have the money, which most people, Baruch Hashem, right now, we've never been blessed in the history of mankind, why go after try to buy the cheapest talit? Buy the best one. When you want to buy a suit, they go for the best. Or like for one night, a bar mitzvah or wedding, they waste all their money on the bar. Maddie's, they get sick from so much food, their stomach pops, and they get alcoholic, God forbid. But then that's the tragedy of a bar mitzvah, you should know. A bar mitzvah, and it just breaks my heart time and time again. I see it, and I try to knock some sense in these people. They don't know. The main mitzvah of a bar mitzvah is the day you put tefillin, and you should buy the most expensive and beautiful sisit and tefillin possible. You understand? Because we learn from this week's parsha actually. B'shalach ze eli ve'anvehu. God created the most beautiful world. We have to emulate God and create the most beautiful mitzvot, you know? Next, so how do you actually put on the mitzvah of talit? The mitzvah of talit is like this. סדר עטיפת מיד לאחר ברכת להתעטף בסיסית התעטפת על ראשו בארבע כנפות הטלית יורדת כנגד גופו. Okay, so let's demonstrate it here. He says this is also a problem they didn't used to do in Iran. He says you say Baruch Atah Hashem. Okay, first of all, it's also good as much of the talit to go like this, Jason. You see, so when you're saying the blessing, the whole thing is in your hand like this. Not, it's better not to do it like this. Grab onto the mitzvah and like put it. It says Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher qidishanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatef b'sisit. Right away, what you need to do is like this. Barabim baramum. You put it around your head. You understand? Here we're recording at night. That's why I'm not making the blessing. Parenthetically, that's an important thing to know. A lot of people don't know. Like on the night of Yom Kippur, you have to get to shul too early for Kol Nidre. Because you could only say the bracha, the mitzvah of Sisit, it only applies during the day. So we only say the blessing on it during the day. So this is what you do. You make it that both of the things are in front of you. Right? Then you take what? The right side. You go like this. And then you do the left side like this, right? And it's better to let them stay for like a few seconds, like 3 seconds. How much it takes to walk like 6 feet, which is 2-3 seconds. Because the blessing, this is the thing a lot of people don't know. What are you saying? Blessed are you, God, that commanded us to wrap ourselves in this. Wrapping is around your head. Yeah. The meaning of the blessing is this action that you're seeing right now. So you understand? So then you put down the left side, and then you put down the right side, and then you do. So he says, then you go like this. You see that two of the strings are in front, because we want to be surrounded. Because these has God's name engraved in it, right? So we want to have two in the front, like north, south, east, west, like all sides, totally engulfed in it. He says another important thing. He says, it says, So he says a very important thing. He says, it reminds me of Rav Ovadia. He says, when you do the litatef like this, you shouldn't cover your eyes. Some Ashkenazim, they make a difference. Rav Ovadia once said in a shir, Yasser Arafat, if you go like this, it's like how Arabs used to think. If you go like this, he'd fall in a pit and die. The Arab terrorists, inshallah. Right? Atifa has to be like a normal person in the desert wants to cover his thing so sand and stuff doesn't go in his ears and the heat. But not that if he covers his eyes, he's going to fall and stumble and break his head. You understand? He says that's wrong. To put it so much that your whole eyes get covered. Yeah. You understand? And he says people that also wear their talits like reformed, deformed people. Oh, that's like this, like you're wearing your scarf, like this. Oh, hello, Baruch atah Hashem. No, that's wrong. You have to put it like this, okay? He says this is not the way to do the mitzvah, and God forbid they're doing a double sin. Both they're not doing the mitzvah of sisit, and they're saying a blessing for no reason, which is very, very severe sin.
Yeah, because you're using the name too.
You're using Hashem's name, and then you're not even doing the mitzvah.
Yeah.
So the way we do it, like a mensch, you do two in the front, and also your sisit needs to be big enough that it covers your body. So like one of the, Baruch Hashem, a lot of my, yeah. So it's saying, a lot of synagogues, they have these things that don't even wrap out around the body of a 10-year-old or 8-year-old. That's wrong. So the larger you have, sisits have size. Like it goes from the 40s to 70. Yeah. Or 7, maybe even 8. So according to how big your body is, it should, I think I'm around like a 60 or 55, something like that. According to your height and weight, how big you are, it should cover your body. So he says, some people, when they say the bracha of leitatef, they kiss the. He says it's better not to do this because it's better not to make a interruption between the blessing. You understand? Mm-hmm. After you wrap it around and like it's on your body like this, then you could like kiss it with your eyes and thing. But when you say Baruch atah Hashem Elokeinu melech haolam asher kshem tzanu, leitatef b'sisit is not right to kiss it and then put it on your body. You understand? Because that's like creating a little bit of a what? Interruption, and we don't like to interrupt between the bracha and the mitzvah. You understand? And then the last mitzvah we'll do today, and then we'll continue next week. It says, Ra'ui v'nachon me'od shekol acham mitzvah sisit. It says it's very important for a person to put the sisit on every day. You understand? Whether it's the large sisit or the small sisit that we wear under. Because this mitzvah is equal to all the other mitzvahs of the Torah. And you're doing it every single day that you're awake. And it's very important that children also from 6 years so a child that's already 5-6 years old, some people, when they cut the hair already at 3 years old, they put a talit katan. But at least from 5-6 years old, you should think, and it has a lot of benefits, because if God forbid you have bad thoughts, like people walk around half naked, you could take out your sisit and stare at it, and it'll hopefully help you. It has many, many benefits actually. There's a whole Sefer app, it's like 200 pages. It tells you all the different side benefits, fringe benefits, no pun intended, from doing the mitzvah of sisit. And really, there's many miracles happen. That people were in like car accidents, and a lot of people like got injured. The people that had the sisit didn't get injured. I know this personally, like firsthand. And it's a shame. That's why the greatest Ashkenazi rabbi in the last 500 years, the Gra, Rabbi Eliyahu of Vilna, was crying before he died. So they said, "Why are you crying? You're for sure going to go to heaven." He said, "No, just for a few dollars, whatever, coins, I could do this mitzvah of talit katan, and it's equal to all the other mitzvahs of the Torah." It's like a mega mitzvah. It's like a Superman mitzvah. And it's equal to all the other mitzvahs of the Torah. Just for a few, when I pass away, I'm not going to have the opportunity. That's Zerizut, by the way. Zerizut is that, there's a window of opportunity to learn, to get married, to do everything in its own time is perfect. So don't lose out. And let's do the mitzvah of Talit. Amen.
Amen.